Carol Rothman. Have you ever been asked to make a cake for a special occasion? A special birthday, bar bat mitzvah, anniversary, wedding, and you wanted to make something really, really beautiful? Well, perhaps you were comfortable with the baking and also with the decorating, since there are many wonderful classes, instructional videos, YouTube videos on how to make beautifully decorated cakes. But you might have been a little bit at sea when it came to deciding what you would put the cake on. The casual home baker usually puts the cake on a plate, maybe even a flat crystal cake plate, but some sort of plate that you have around. If you want to start emulating a bakery look so that people won't say, "Oh, did you make that yourself?" which is not really what you want to hear, well, you might go to what bakeries do with simple, inexpensive cakes and use a cake board, corrugated cardboard. It'll hold a reasonable amount of weight on it and is usually topped with a doily affixed with a little splash of icing in the middle. Of course, you do have the corrugated sides, so that this will do, but is not for the major event. If you wanted to work with a purchased cake board, not making your own, you could go up one step in elegance and use what used to come exclusively from England, a cake drum. These are lightweight, some sort of compressed fiber cardboardy material, generally covered either with silver or gold foil, half-inch thick, will hold quite a bit of weight, and come in all different sizes ranging from 6 inches all the way up to 22, 24 inches, and look quite elegant. Sometimes they're covered with fondant icing or royal icing. Ribbon can be put around the edge, and you have a very nice presentation. But if you want something extra special that takes it completely out of the league of a bakery cake and make your cake look like it came from a specialty baker who you might find online who does only specialty cakes, you can quickly and easily make your own from readily available materials that will really add to your project. Recently, I had the pleasure and honor of being asked to make the wedding cake for my younger son. Part of the honor came from the fact that the woman that he's marrying is a pastry chef who, looking at my portfolio, since in addition to my work with the scroll saw, I also worked for a long time as a cake decorator doing custom cakes. She liked what she saw and said that I should go ahead and do it with consultation with her, of course. So here is what I decided on. Since the cake was sort of a classic white wedding cake, I wanted a cake board that would not detract from the cake, but would add to it. And what I decided upon was a cake board that was covered with ruffled satin. I bought a nice quality satin at a fabric store that had heft that would support the 4-layer cake, the bottom layer being 14 inches. That would also be easy to manipulate, which is done by adding on one of those cake drums to the bottom so that you're not trying to pry it up so you can get your fingers under it for moving it. I added on one of the cardboard cake boards on top to level it out. And all in all, when I finished it, I said, this will really do exactly what I want. Perhaps the setting will be enhanced by flowers surrounding it on the table. You really want the cake to be a presentation. And wedding cakes, of course, tend to get their own tables and are very, very important. Now, in order to make this, the materials that I chose, looking for things that would be inexpensive and convenient, were foam core, half-inch thick foam core, which is available at just about all craft stores these days and comes in, I believe, 20-inch by 30-inch sheets, which will accommodate the largest cake. But since this would be a heavy cake, and since this has some flex to it, It was strengthened by an equally sized circle of hardboard or masonite, 1/4 of an inch thick, which is easily cut with the scroll saw. So the combination of these two materials gave me a cake board that was thick enough so that the satin would drape nicely around it. I also did some beveling of the edge so that nothing hard would show up. And it just worked very, very well. If you think you'd like to give it a go, if you have some experience with a sewing machine for simple straight sewing and shirring, if you happen to be fortunate enough to enjoy the craft of scrolling, working with a scroll saw, or have somebody who can do it for you, then you can go ahead and really make people sit up and take notice. As I made this cake board, I took step-by-step pictures of the process to make it easy to follow. So if you want to give it a go, here's how I did it. First, I glued together 20-inch squares of foam core and hardboard and drew a circle 17 3/4 inches in diameter using trammel points. Next, I cut along the circle with my scroll saw using a small blade. When the circle was completed, this is what it looked like. I then beveled the top and bottom edges with the scroll saw so that the satin would wrap around them smoothly. I cut 6-inch wide strips of satin, joining the ends to make one long strip about 55 inches long. I joined the ends of the strip to make a large circle. I set my sewing machine to a loose tension and large stitch size and sewed double rows of stitches on the top and bottom edges of the satin, using a strong thread to prevent breakage. When I finished sewing, this is what it looked like. I then pulled the 2 top threads to shirr the first side of the satin. When that was completed, I secured it with clear packing tape and shirred the second side. I secured the second side with tape to complete the board, and all that remained was to glue the piece of cardboard cake board to the center to even up the level. I hope this video and my instructions have convinced you that with a little bit of time and a fair amount of care, anyone can make a beautiful cake board that will elevate the level of any cake you bake for any occasion. Thanks for watching.